currently standing at the edge of the greatest wealth transfer in the insurance industry today. Unless you have the tools, the resources, and the knowledge to tap into this opportunity, you will watch from the sidelines while other agents get rich. I'm gonna show you guys how to get the leads, how to get the appointments. But then are you making sales, yes or no? No, you're getting objections. Objections like, I need to do some research first. What's the name of your company? I'm gonna talk to my advisor first. Dave Ramsey says you suck. Most people in this room don't realize how incredibly hard it is to get complete strangers to buy things from you. So that led me to the million-dollar question. How do I sell to wealthy clients? I studied, I tested, I failed, I learned, I tweaked. We discovered a way to only talk to people making over 161K a year. Do you want to see? Let's dive in. Alrighty, we're going to be talking about how to attract high net worth life insurance clients by positioning yourself as a trusted advisor instead of a telemarketer. Let's dive in. I'm going to kick this presentation off by saying something a little bold, and that is that we are currently standing at the edge of the greatest wealth transfer in the insurance industry today, and the agents that capitalize and take action will unlock the key to generational wealth for themselves and their family. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but if you give me the next few minutes, I promise to you that I will prove it. So, first stat for you guys, because I know everybody loves numbers. In 2024, there was $3.8 billion of IUL premium written. Now, I know that number is hard to put into perspective and hard to understand, so I'm going to put it into perspective for you guys. That's one $7,232 AP IUL sold every minute of every hour for the entire year of 2024. That's just IUL sales for one singular year. So is this a big opportunity or what? Now, let's talk about annuities. Shout out Roy Snar, right? Annuities. In 2024, we sold double the amount of annuities in 2020, which was the same year when most people thought the world was going to end, and some of you guys were wearing masks in your cars. That's one $825,000 annuity sold per minute of every hour for the entire year, including when people were sleeping. And that's just annuity sales for one singular year. So, how big is the opportunity of the insurance industry today? It's so big that if every single one of you in this industry became a seven-figure earner at the snap of my fingers, it wouldn't even scratch the surface or even begin to scratch the surface on the size of this market. So is there a lack of money in this industry? This industry is literally an ocean full of money, okay? I say this not to exaggerate, but all you have to do is stick a tiny little baby straw, it can be paper or plastic, I don't care, and take one tiny little sip, and you and your family are good for generations to come. Is that true or is that true? Not to mention, we are all currently, we have perfect timing, right? Who's heard of Peak 65? I know my Medicare cats do. That means right now there are 11,400 people turning 65 every day from 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. Come on, clicker. There we go. There's a graph to prove it. I didn't make this up before I jumped on here, okay? Now, there's a big problem, because what do these baby boomers that are turning 65 not have? They don't have pensions. They have Social Security, but they don't have pensions. But what do these baby boomers have? Money. They have wealth. They are literally the wealthiest generation to ever exist in the entire course of human history. They have wealth. What do they not have? Income. They don't have pensions. There's never been so many people retiring that don't have retirement income. So, pop quiz, what is an annuity? It's a guaranteed lifetime income in exchange for a lump sum. Not to mention, what are most insurance agents? Drum roll, please. Baby boomers. And what are baby boomers doing in droves? They're retiring. The average age of an insurance agent, right? Maybe not in this room, but in the industry, is age 62. That's the average. For those of you guys that aren't good at math, that means half of them are older than that. Meaning, who's seen a supply-demand curve before? Right? What does it mean when the supply goes down and the demand goes up? It means you make more money, right? There's more people that need what we're selling and less people to sell it to them. Could you ask for a better market to be in right now? No, maybe drugs. Now, peak 65, not enough people to meet the demand. What about the market conditions? Look at these headlines. Armageddon is coming, stock market's gonna crash 80%, says guy who made 4,000% during COVID. Global war, trade war, Armageddon, we're all gonna die, the world's ending, blah, 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 whatever. Fear and greed index. Who's heard of this? What does Warren Buffett say? Be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. That's what this graph represents. People are in extreme fear about the market. And to prove that, March 2025 was one of the highest annuity sales record months in history. But I hate to break it to you because there's a big problem. Unless you have the tools, the resources, and the knowledge to tap into this opportunity, you will watch from the sidelines while other agents get rich. True or false? Exactly. Now, the truth is, in order to do that, you need high-quality leads. What are high-quality leads? It's people that want what you're selling and are qualified for what you're selling. Yes or no? So in order to capitalize on this opportunity, you need a predictable and reliable system to convert those leads into policies day in and day out like the tide. So I'm going to show you guys how to get the leads, how to get the appointments. But then are you making sales, yes or no? No, you're getting objections. Objections like, I need to do some research first. What's the name of your company? I'm going to talk to my advisor first. Dave Ramsey says you suck. The truth is, most people in this room don't realize how incredibly hard it is to get complete strangers to buy things from you. You have to know what to say, and you have to know what not to say, but the number one thing that you need is trust. And people don't trust telemarketers. They trust experts. So, in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to cover the $100 trillion gold rush opportunity that will only last for the next 3 years. How to get wealthy clients to book appointments on your calendar and buy using mind control and propaganda. Yes, I promise it's legal. And how an ex-construction worker sold $88,000 of issued paid premium in just 28 days using this secret funnel that I'm going to show you guys in my breakout room tomorrow, which all of you are going to come to. Yes! Working part-time. Plus, I'm also going to reveal a secret conversation I had with Alex Hormozi that changed my life and the way I think about this industry. Who knows Alex Hormozi? All right, in case you don't know who that is, he's the #1 business speaker in the world and is on pace to be a billionaire. So pretty cool stuff. So I'm going to show you guys the exact funnel we use to sell to wealthy clients. But first, I have to share with you the hardest lesson that I've ever learned that is ultimately the reason I created this in the first place. So this is me. In case you didn't realize, I'm the one on the right. And here's some photos of me with some people. This guy, it was in Shark Tank. If any of you are drinking Celsius, he helped start that company. CEO of Go High Level, John Maxwell, Alex Hormozi, Alex Rodriguez, the guy that hits home runs, Cody Askins, you guys saw him earlier, and David Duford. We got a YouTube channel. Go subscribe, whatever, cool. And basically, back in 2021, I got recruited into the insurance business by this guy. Basically, what we did is we would drive all across the state of North Carolina. I memorized every single one of those counties' names, and I knew which ones were red and which ones were blue. And basically, I would get Walmart gift cards, or Walmart gift card leads, and I would go out and knock on doors. I would get a stack of gift cards at Walmart. The ladies at the money services hated my guts. And I would go out and knock on doors and basically, try to sell life insurance. We stayed in Econo Lodges. Don't ask me what that is on the sheets. I don't know, nor do I want to. And we were basically working 80 hours a week knocking doors. Those are real photos that we all took. That's my friend who's now in the military. That was a house that we had a lead of. So if you say your leads don't answer the phone, you're soft. We met a lot of interesting people, stayed in a lot of interesting places, like a bus for $10 a night, saw interesting things like these people with pet zebras, and I even sold a policy on Bitches Boulevard. That is a true story. And I was selling about $20,000 a month. You can see that's my name, Julian's name. We were not like clowns by any means. We were getting shouted out on the company calls. Everything seemed to be going well. But then 8 months later, I looked at my 1099, and this is what I saw. $26,000. I had made 30 grand in a month when I was 18. And I was earning $26,000, slaving away, knocking doors 80 hours a week. And I said, what on earth happened? I would have been better off working at McDonald's, right? Who here has had a similar story? Maybe your first year was not what you expected it to be. A couple hands. I guess I must have been in a way worse opportunity than you guys. And I remember sitting in a trailer in the sweltering hot North Carolina summer, wearing a mask. We used to do that. And I remember thinking there had to be a better way to do this, right? Because again, there's so much money in this industry. We just talked about it a few minutes ago. $1.87 trillion in premiums in 2023 alone. None of you guys can even fathom that number. It's an ocean full of money. So what was the problem? The leads? Okay. What else? That's when I learned one of the hardest lessons of my life, that the quality of your marketing determines the quality of your business. See, I was drinking out of that same ocean, but I was drinking out of the polluted section where there was oil spills and bottles and baby diapers, right? Look at the mailer I was working. Let's read this. We're going to break this down together. Send this back to see if you qualify for a life insurance benefit. Does that make it sound like it's free? Yes. And receive a free Walmart gift card. So who is that going to attract? Broke, unqualified people who want something for free. Write this down, guys. The quality of your marketing determines the quality of your customer. What does the quality of your customer determine? The quality of your business. If your clients are broke, and again, some of the best people I ever met was selling final expense, but you don't want to build a business off of that. If your customers are broke and don't pay their bills, you will drown in chargebacks and constantly be stuck on a hamster wheel. And I remember I went to a conference, we won the school games, we met Alex Hormozy, and I was like, dude, I want to scale this business, but every time I bring more people in, we just get more chargebacks, and I'm like nervous because I'm responsible for their debt. And he said, he owns a whole life insurance brokerage, by the way. He said, I don't have that problem. It's probably who you're selling to. Duh, right? So that led me to the $1 million question. How do I sell to wealthy clients? So I spent months and months, and I had to cut down slides because I had 208 slides. Nate told me I had to trim it down. But I spent tens of thousands of dollars to learn from marketing gurus. I even bought a $500 book, and I spent years. I studied, I tested, I failed, I learned, I tweaked. I studied, I tested, I failed, I learned, I tweaked. This is a Rocky cutscene, by the way. It was way longer than this. And finally, I succeeded. And here's what I learned. How you position the products that you sell matter. Tiny, barely noticeable things trigger people's subconscious and will either attract rich people or they will attract unqualified people that cannot pay for your products. And that's essentially what I learned. And the editing in your ad, the script of your ad, the first 3 seconds of your ad, the call to action in your ad, which is what you tell them to do, the offer you make, the words you use, what you wear, how you smell, what you say, how you sound. How you smell doesn't make sense because it's an ad. Your background, your haircut, your jewelry, all determine who you're attracting. And it's just as easy to target people with money as it is to target people that don't have money. So, who would you rather sell to? What's a better business to build? Selling to people with money. All right, make some noise for people that have money. Or do you want to sell to people that don't have money to pay you? Now again, nothing bad to say about these people. They're some of the best people I've ever met, but it's not going to build a business off of. So what we did is we created a repeatable and proven formula to target and attract wealthy prospects. Do you want to see an example? All right, let's say I want to sell IUL to rich people. Who wants to do that, by the way? All right, most people do something like this. Who's seen ads like this on their Facebook? All right, what's wrong with this ad? It says when you realize you can pay $100 a month for a 6-figure life insurance policy that you can borrow against tax-free to buy assets that can pay you passive income. No offense to this lady, but she looks like a TikToker, and you're price anchoring people at $100 a month. are serious rich people clicking on ads. Like, are you guys taking financial advice from TikTok? Raise your hand if you are. I know there's some of you, so it's okay, right? So the lead vendors are running ads like this, right? Then they sell them to you and they slap a pretty name on them, like premium, gold, platinum, A-tier, IUL leads. Plus, they'll even call them for you, right? And they're only $80 a pop. And then you wonder why you're getting unqualified people that don't charge back and decide all of a sudden they bail that they don't want to have generational wealth or whatever. So here's how our team goes about it. We say, cool, what are rich people already doing? Well, guess what they're doing? They're saving for retirement, right? So why don't we make our ads specifically talking to people already saving for retirement? So we discovered a way to only talk to people making over 161K a year. Do you want to see? Too bad, you're going to have to come to the breakout tomorrow. It's at 8 o'clock and 8:45. Who's coming to the breakout? Let's go. All right, I'm going to say whose breakout are you going to, and then you guys are going to say which breakout you're going to. Ready? Whose breakout room are you going to? Exactly. So I'll give you guys a little teaser. You guys know what Roth IRAs are? You have a max income of 161K you can put in there. So if I say in the first few seconds of my ad, do you want tax-free retirement but make too much money for a Roth IRA? Who am I going to attract? People making over 161K a year, right? So you're getting the leads. They're booking appointments. Are you making sales? No! You're getting objections like this. Who are you again? I don't remember filling anything out. This is what we call a trust mountain. So, are those real objections? No. They're caused by a lack of trust. Because nobody trusts you. You're a freaking telemarketer. You're annoying, right? No offense. So I'm going to show you guys one of the most powerful tools for influence in the universe. Is that cool? You guys remember this guy? Why do people trust Dave Ramsey? Is it because he's a certified financial planner? Yes or no? No, he's not. He's not a certified financial planner. What about this guy? Is he a real doctor? No. But they paid him millions of dollars to be a spokesperson for a diabetes drug. Why are you taking like medical advice from Dr. Phil? He's like a psychological doctor. What about this guy? Is he a real doctor? Yes, he is. Actually, he is. Gotcha. But what are his qualifications to run the CMS, Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services? Yeah, this guy runs Medicare. Dr. Oz. Yeah. So what if you could tap into the exact same expert effect without starting a radio show, without becoming a celebrity, without posting content online in 1 week or less? Would that be something you guys would be interested in? Is that possible? Yes, it absolutely is, and you can. And I can say that because I did it myself. In case you don't realize, that's me, right? I made a little ad. 3 things you need to know before buying an IUL. And then I sent those people to a video training of me breaking down, you guessed it, the 3 things you need to know before buying an IUL. 25% of my leads booked an appointment on my calendar. My cost per appointment was $78.19. That's only pre-books. I didn't call them because I'm lazy. Just kidding. It's because I also run a business. So there's a lot of numbers here. You only need to pay attention to 2. $18.16 per lead, $2,800 spent. Here's what came from it. I got people texting me their illustrations saying, Tim, can you review this? I need an expert advice, right? A business owner who wanted to put in $24,000 a year into an IUL. This is me on the Zoom. A real estate investor who wanted to put $500K into Annuity. That's not me, but I was also on the call. He helped me with the call. A college professor who wanted to put in $7,200 into an IUL. A guy who showed me his debt-free life illustration for 51K AP, 22K target, said, hey, can you review this? Does this look right? That's the agent who did it for him. He was like, yo, can you review this and tell me if it looks good? A guy with 4 IULs who sent me his illustrations before ever even speaking to me and said, can you help me fix this? Vice president of a consulting company. That's me. And a secretary who wanted to put 150K into an annuity. Now, I have something to reveal to you. I am no IUL expert. I understand them. I've read the books, blah, 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 but I'm not an expert. So I brought in somebody who was, right? Now, the reason they trusted me is because they saw my video. They viewed me as the expert, but I brought in a guy who was an expert, and here were his results. $2,700 spent, 88K in AP, 8 applications. Is that a good return or what? And a $250,000 annuity. Not counting his pipeline, which I would like to review with you guys, but I can't because I would have too many slides, and I don't have that much time. His total commission was around $60,000. $2,800 on leads, $60K in commission, that's $57,185 in profit, working part-time with this funnel. And he's doing it part-time, like I just said, for a few hours a day, because he's also a coach at our company. Now imagine if you were doing what Josh is doing right now, but full-time, you were positioned as the expert instead of me, and you spent more than $2,800 on ads. Maybe you'd be like Austin, who wrote a $200K annuity, barely even trying. Or Travis, this is a bad freeze frame of him, sorry Travis, who wrote a $24K on one IUL policy. Or maybe even Eris and Eddie, who sell $30,000 a month, working 3 hours a day, and they have 7 kids, right? So, in 2024, the IUL premium for the 1 year was $3.8 billion. That's $7,232 APIUL sold every minute of for the entire year of what year? We don't even have the numbers for 2025, but I bet they'll be higher. What about annuities? $434 billion in 1 year. That is what? All right, come on, in unison, come on. Per minute of every hour for the entire year. So, this industry is an ocean full of money. Yes or yes? Yes. Exactly. So my question to you guys, who will win at getting more water out of the ocean? Who will make more money? The agent doing this, which is what most of you guys in the room are doing. No offense, I used to do it, but worse, because I wasn't making dials, I was knocking doors. You're getting leads and you're making dials. If you're buying leads, this is what you're doing, I guarantee it. Or the agent's doing this. Let me break this down for you. You run an ad, you're in the ad, you're positioned as the expert. They go to a video, positions you as the expert. They watch content of you explaining and breaking down these complex financial products. Who understood an annuity or an IUL the first time somebody explained it to them? Dude, I'm not dumb, and I did not understand that for months. Right? They can watch a video without jumping on a call, without getting high pressure closed, and they start to build trust with you. What happens when you educate people? Your trust goes up, their knowledge of the product goes up, which makes it easier to sell them the product, and your status goes up. Right? So you send them to the training. Then they get the opportunity to book on your calendar. If you're lucky like me, 25% of your leads will book. You probably won't be like that. That's not a normal number. They book on your calendar, and then we send them to a pre-call video, right? This is basically boosting your show-up rate. You're talking about, what you do, why they need to show up, pre-framing them, overcoming the objections, and then you start sending them texts to remind them to show up. You send them videos to educate them and answer their common questions and objections. You send them emails to give them value, and they show up on Zoom, and what do they do then? Hopefully, right? Not every time, but at a much higher percent than this guy, for sure. So I'll ask it another way, put more simply, because Nate basically called you guys dumb for an hour on the first day. Who's going to empty water out of the ocean faster? The guy with a bucket leaking that has holes in it, or the guy/gal with a water pump spitting out 15 gallons per second of water straight into your bank account? Exactly. So, scan this QR code, show up to the breakout. We're going to be giving free strategy sessions on how you can position yourself as an expert to sell IUL, annuity, infinite banking, or if you're an agency owner and you want to recruit. We did the same thing for our own agency, and we recruited 554 agents in a matter of 4 months. So, scan that QR code. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. And whose breakout are we going to? Let's go! We got more cash to give out?